effort is also reduced. I want all of my students, Goa, Pilani, both to participate in this design contest. Please be assured that our students, they fare really well. Last semester, our team came 7th in all over 100 entries, 200 entries. Before that, our students, they got the 2nd place. So it's not that we are not competent enough. We are competent enough. Okay, but make teams. I'm saying, first of all, make teams and then dedicatedly work for this. Okay, I'll be sending you all emails. Kindly start thinking about that. So we were discussing the single stage amplifiers, in which we have discussed the cascode, the concept of cascode, R in, R out, gain. Okay, now, as I said, biasing is a problem over there because we go for cascode load. And the moment you go for cascode load, gain increases, but then there are 4 transistors in stack, one over the another. As a result, what do we get is that biasing, bringing all 4 transistors in saturation is really a very tough task. Okay, so people, they tried to ease out this problem and they thought of something which is called as a folded cascode. Okay, so let us now start doing what is folded cascode. But before that, just one thing which I want to emphasize for a cascode topology, that is the total voltage swing that we have. Okay. Oh my God. So we have a cascode, remember, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 biasing voltages are required, V bias 1, V bias 2, and V bias 3. These are DC potentials which we need to generate. This is VDD, say 3 volts. Your VT is say 0.7 and you have an overdrive VGS minus VT as 0.2. So this is grounded, input is applied over here and this is output. You may name the transistors M1, M2, M3 and M4. These 2 are PMOSes and these 2 are NMOSes. Now, to bring each of them in saturation, I need a V overdrive across the source and drain minimum. Similarly, here I require a V overdrive minimum, V overdrive minimum. That means the swing up and down possible is only how much? 3 minus 0.4, that is 2.6, and this is 0.4. This is the only swing available to you at the output. Okay? And in this situation, because DC is not fixed, so DC will be fixed by the circuitry. Circuitry will try to adjust within this range. So depending on how much is the swing possible, so if I have my DC in the middle of this range, at most I can have a total swing is only 2.2, so it can be 1.1 up and 1.1 down. You cannot have maximum swing more than this symmetrical signal. If it is asymmetrical signal, it's no problem. Okay? And in that case, the DC has to be in the middle of this range. It should be, but then this is a case where DC is not fixed. DC will be decided by the circuit itself. Designer has little control. It depends on so many factors, W by L, lambda values, lambda PMOS, lambda NMOS, and all those things. So designer does not have really much control on that. Now, once we have known the properties of R in, R out, gain, swing, okay, these are all low frequency properties, low frequency response. We really have not yet started the high frequency response, where we start including the MOS capacitances. Okay, or capacitive loads at each and every node. Now, as I said, this has a biasing problem. Okay, bringing all 4 transistors in saturation is really a difficult thing. It is not that easy. So what we do is that we try to ease out. So what is done is, I have a structure which is called as a folded cascode. But then here we try to have a mix-up of NMOS and PMOS. Here the lower portion is only NMOS. Now here I will try to have a mix-up of NMOS and PMOS, so that I am able to fold the structure. It has a folded kind of a topology. So what is done, you can do the folding in 2 ways. So look at this node. This is the node folding point. This node is the folding point, so I can fold it from this point. So either you fold this portion or you fold this portion. Anyway you can fold. So I can keep, so first is I can keep this as it is, no change. So this is V in and this is M1, this is as it is. And this is my folding point. Okay, I fold the up one down. In that situation, M2 becomes a PMOS and the other things, the PMOSs become NMOS. V bias 2, V bias 3. 3 and this is V bias 1. This is V out. Look here, the connection does not, the electrical nature of the circuitry does not change. This is drain, source, source, drain. Look very carefully. Okay, so this is drain, source, this is source, drain. Okay, and the current, it is the same current has to go through this. So that means the circuit, whatever current is through this has to be through this. Same thing, AC current, GM/VGS current, it should not change. This is one way of folding, but there is something missing. This connection is between ground and ground. There is no VDD connections. Okay, so this is a problem. So I need to have a kind of a AC connection over here, which provides DC current to both arms. I need to have a bias current. Otherwise, transistors will not operate in saturation. This consumes more power. Because I need to have a 2I source. If the bias current through this is I, here I need to have 2I source. And it is a constant current source. The symbol is this, so that it cannot take any AC. So whatever AC is passing through this, it has to only go through this path. Otherwise, electrical nature will change. So this has to be a constant current source. So this is one way of folding. Now let me draw another here itself so that you can see the difference. So what I do is now I keep this as it is and I fold this one. Second way of folding. So I keep the upper portion as it is. PMOS is V bias 3, V bias 2 and V bias 1. This is VDD. This is as it is, no change. This is M1, M2, M3, M2, 3 and 4. Okay, so now what I am doing is, this is my folding point and I fold M1. Now this will become a PMOS. Now this becomes a PMOS and this goes to VDD. Now this connection is only between VDD and VDD. It's a problem. Connection is the same. Look here, this is the source, drain, this is my V out. So this is source, this is drain. Same connection, source, drain, source, drain. AC current has to be same, no change. But then there is a DC bias problem. So you have to go for DC bias current, constant current source of 2I over here. Constant current source. So two ways of folding are there. Okay. You can again argue that you are not actually saving on biasing. Yes, I am not saving on biasing too much. Why? Because minimum basic current mirror will be here. That means minimum one transistor will be here. So again stack of 4. Again a stack of 4. But still it is easy biasing here. The reason is here you have two transistors which are both amplifying, which are a part of cascode appearing in one line, whereas here this is not a part of cascode as such. One cascode has come up over here. So if you look this way, it is only two transistors, out of which this is non-critical. Similarly, if you look this way, it is only a stack of 3 transistors, out of which this is non-critical. Whereas here, all 4 of them are critical. All 4 of them are critical. This is one advantage. Second advantage, enfolded cascode. This can have a signal on a DC riding on a DC bias, AC riding on a DC bias. Here also you require a signal riding on a DC bias. There has to be DC on which signal must be riding. A proper 1 volt VGS should be there. Okay, you need a DC bias. Okay, look here. What DC bias you require? For this, it is a folded cascode topology. Input goes to a PMOS. Now remember, this is source, this is drain. This is VGS. What DC bias you require here? Nothing. Even if it is at a 0 potential, this is 3 volt, you always have a sufficient DC bias. I am not forced to have a DC for the input. I can even have my signal riding on a 0 volt DC. I can easily have it riding on a 0 volt DC. So by appropriate choice of the structure, I may even feed a signal without 0 bias. That is the flexibility I am getting. I may go for a DC bias, I may not go for a DC bias, or the choice of DC bias will be in my hand. I will choose any DC bias. Okay, I can work very easily. The flexibility is now, I have a choice of structure. Depending on what DC level my circuit is having, I have a choice of structure now. Okay, clear? So, folded cascode gives you a little bit of ease, but then gain has a little difference. At this node, now it will work in the same way. If Vin is given, this will generate a AC current GM times Vin. VGS is Vin. Because this is a constant current source, AC cannot go this way. So only way this AC can flow is through this transistor. So it is this flow of current. So that same GM Vin now flows through PMOS also. The same condition as we have over here. AC properties, they do not change. AC operation does not change. And this GM in current now drops across the net R out at this node. The net R out at this node. And net R out at this node is the upper component and a parallel to lower component. So lower component is, suppose this is M3 and this is M4. It is same. GM3, RO3, RO4 plus RO3, RO4. Cascode connection, so same situation. I can apply my result here very well. And upper component, now this would be, you can imagine that this is replaced by a basic current mirror. There would be a basic current mirror over here. I hope you all understand what is a basic current mirror. Yes? Yes, basic current mirror. So at least one transistor will be there. So if you look up this way, now look very carefully. Look up this way. Okay? It is one transistor, say M2. This is M1, let me say this is M5. So look from this point. So it goes up, again a cascode connection. stack of 1, 2 series. You can easily say this is M2. So net impedance looking this up will be GM2 RO2 RO5 plus RO5 RO2. Correct? No. Little bit of difference is there because at this node there is not only this is also there. You cannot ignore M1. M1 is also connected to the same node. It is as if two impedances are appearing in parallel at this node. So my impedance, my up connection impedance has to be GM2 RO2. Now look very carefully. GM2 RO2 and parallel combination of these two. So RO5 RO1. So it would be RO5 parallel RO1 plus RO2 plus RO5 parallel RO1. This would be the component. So this little change would be there. So net gain has to be negative will come because of phase reversal. GM1 V in current which is dropping across, or simply I know capital GM is GM1 in cascade. Dropping across R out. What will be R out? The down component we know. It would be GM3 RO3 RO4 plus RO3 plus RO4. This whole thing in parallel with this component, which would be GM2 RO2 RO5 parallel RO1 plus RO2 plus RO5 parallel RO1. Now I take the dominating components into account. Out of these three, this will dominate. This will be the largest quantity. I can neglect other two. And in this will be the dominating one. So let me neglect small quantities, which will be negligible. Taking only dominating components, this AV now comes out to be minus GM1, roughly GM3, RO3, RO4, parallel GM2, RO2, RO5, parallel RO1. I am able to write this result because I know, I remember the results are out. I am simply applying capital GM for cascade. I know. I am not re-deriving here. I am not re-deriving the expressions again and again. So this helps me in intuitive analysis. When I say intuitive, I use my previous knowledge and find out the situation where I can apply them. So this helps me in intuitive analysis. So this saves a lot of design time and analysis time also. Is this clear? Okay. So you can see gain is again very high. If I assume all GMs are equal, all ROs are equal, then what will this come to? It would be roughly equal to GM square, RO square, roughly by 2, approximately. GM square, RO square by 2, approximately. The gain is again same thing. I am not getting different gain in folded cascade because AC operation remains the same with minor changes. Got it? But biasing has become a little bit easier, plus I am getting more flexibility in choice of structure. I can fold anyway, whichever way I require. I can fold in any fashion. Clear? Any query here for cascade? Fine. So this is about the folded cascade, and you should be able to draw its model. Whether NMOS, PMOS, combination of NMOS, PMOS, you should be able to draw the model with proper connectivity. Okay, please try to draw it. You should have a good skill in drawing the small signal model. Cascade is clear. So we were discussing two-stage amplifiers. Now let us move on to the next. Another combination. See, there are various combinations possible because there are 3 stages. You can do permutation combination. Various stages are possible. Common source with common gate, common source with common drain, common gate with common drain. There are various combinations possible. So people, they also tried, but then ultimately they found that 2 are very, very useful. One of them is cascode because it gives you very high gain. And another, and I told you that cascode can be treated as a modified CSA. It can be treated like a modified CSA. So we can also treat it like a single stage amplifier. But now we move on to the next combination. Again, it can be treated like a modified CSA. So basically, it is the most fundamental amplifier is CSA, common source amplifier. Or if you go for BJT technology, it would be common emitter. Clear? You can use both devices alternatively. Its use is exactly the same. Gate, drain, source. You have a BJT. Emitter, collector, base, emitter. Physics is different, but we get the same characteristics if you remember. Here also we get the same characteristics with minor changes because physics is different. So I can use any device. I can use any device. They both are equivalent, but then because physics is different, parameters are different. Small signal parameters are different. We talk of beta AC or HFE in case of BJT. Here we talk of transconductance, GM. You can also talk of transconductance over there. Here you have a I gate to be nearly 0. We assume there you have I base. And there is a relationship between I base and I collector. So you should not forget BJT at all. Don't forget. BJT is a very strong contender. Whenever you want a very high gain, we go for BJT. Whenever we go for very, very high speed circuits, we go for BJT. Do not assume BJT is now outdated. No. Strictly no. Okay? So you should go on revising your BJTs. BJTs, do not forget BJT principles. Now we move on to differential amplifier. We move on to differential amplifier. What is differential amplifier? First of all, let me draw the circuitry. I hope you all understand. It's not that I'm doing something alien here. It has 2 arms. It has a constant current source, ISS. There's a V in minus and there's a V in plus. Differential signal is there. And there is a V out, which is again V out plus and V out minus. Now it depends on you. How do you give polarity of input? How do you tap polarity, output polarity? It depends on you. I can give V in plus here, give V in minus here. No, I don't mind. Similarly, this can be minus, this can be plus. There's a choice of polarity tapped at the output or given at the input. You have the choice over here. Designer has a flexibility. This is called as a differential amplifier. This is called as a differential pair. Now, if you look at it as a 2 common source amplifiers, I can easily draw each half. Each half will be 1 arm. This is a V in plus. Another arm. This is a V in minus. This is R load. This is R load. And then I can break this ISS into 2 parts. One can be ISS by 2 here. And another can be ISS by 2 over here. And then this is a joining point. 2 equal halves I can easily draw. Each arm having a bias current of ISS by 2. This is a kind of a combination of 2 CSA. Each one is a combination of 2 common source amplifiers. Rather, it would be a combination of 2 common source amplifiers which are source degenerated. Why? Because the source degeneration resistance here would be RO if it is a current mirror. If this is a basic current mirror, ISS by 2, its impedance will be RO. So I can say it is actually a combination of two CSA joined or coupled at the source. Coupled at the source. That is why this is also called as a source coupled amplifier. Source coupled amplifier. Clear? In BJT, we call it as emitter coupled amplifier, ECL. Now, if I treat it like a modified common source amplifier, then how to understand it? If I start with a common source amplifier, this is V in and this is V out. This is V in and this is V out. Okay. Now what is the problem in this situation? What is the problem here? If there is a change in the DC of V in, the VGS changes, DC. And the moment VGS changes, the DC Q point shifts. Because it depends on VGS, DC value. Any fluctuation in this DC, and it can fluctuate. Because VDD may fluctuate. If it is fluctuating, the Q point will keep on shifting because your small signal parameters GM, GMB, RO or GD, they all depend on Q point location, they also keep on shifting. Because your gain depends on GM-RO, the gain keeps on changing. With VDD fluctuations or with whatever fluctuations are happening which are causing a change in DC level of your input. That means reliability is low. Because any fluctuation, I cannot claim to user that this amplifier will give you a gain of 10. It may keep on shifting. So what to do? How to minimize this shift? Or how to achieve constancy of gain? Or how to get 100% or very high reliability, if not 100%. Even if there is a shift, I do not want my parameters to change. Even if there is a shift, that means I do not want my Q point to change. VDD may fluctuate. I need to now design my circuit intelligently. So how to design it intelligently? Look at the creativity of the designers, what they did. They say, okay, even if DC is shifting, suppose DC changes by 1 volt down or half a volt down, I can have a still VGS same if this potential also goes by half volt down. So let me not put it to hard ground. Let me not put it to hard ground. The moment you put it to hard ground, this voltage cannot change. I have to make it to be able to take excursion. So it should not be hard connected. So what is done is that they remove it and they put any type of a load. And remember, the moment you put a load, it becomes a source degenerated amplifier. Here you would be achieving a kind of constancy of Q point. Remember, we said this gives you a more linear operation. Remember, that's because Q point achieves constancy. But what's the drawback? Drawback is gain reduces. Gain reduces because there is an AC drop across RS. Somebody says, okay, you change it with an active load, see what happens. Let me not have a passive load, let me have an active load. So if you have an active load, what I can do, this can be replaced by an active load. So let me draw another configuration where I am replacing it with an active load. This is V in, V out, VDD, this is RD is a load, and then an active load. An active load, say an NMOS with a DC source. An active load. The moment this is an active load, is my problem resolved? No. Why? Because this will give me an RS equal to RO. And remember, gain transconductance here reduces by GM upon 1 plus GM RS. Here RS will be RO even larger. Even larger. Somebody says, okay, go for a diode connected load. No problem. Now your RS will become 1 upon GM2. Now your capital GM will become approximately GM1 upon 1 plus GM1 into 1 by GM2. RS effect is bound to come. Yes, it may be reduced, may be heightened because of the value of RS. Diode connected load will give you a smaller value. A current source type of a load will give you a larger value. But it is not getting reduced at all. So what is the problem? How can you resolve it? I still want capital GM to be equal to GM1. I do not want any denominator to come. I do not want, because this is what is reducing my gain. In a common source amplifier, I am not going to swap this Vin and this VDC. This will become a cascade. I do not want to change. I do not want to swap it. So this will remain as Vin here. So I do not want any denominator to come. So what should I do? So one problem, somebody may say what you should do. Do not allow any AC drop to happen across it. This drop is coming because this is carrying AC current. Otherwise, its function will not appear at all. This node is, remember, in a normal CSA, this node is AC ground because it is hard ground. That is why capital GM is same as small gm, because this node appears like a ground. Why not make this node, though it is floating, to appear like a ground, to behave like a ground during AC operation? Why not make it behave like a ground, even though it is not hard ground? Somehow you should not allow AC voltage to appear across this portion, whether active or passive. Do not allow any AC voltage to appear. That means this should not conduct any AC current. Do not allow. So what is to be done? If this area, this low transistor M2, not to conduct any AC current, but this is conducting an AC current. M1 is having an AC current. How can you stop the current to flow to M2? So what is done? This is a load. This is M1, Vin, and here you have an active load, VDC, coming from maybe a reference arm. This is grounded. I want to make this node to behave like a AC ground. You have a current component I over here, which is a small current component. At this node, I should not have any I flowing down. So this I should be somehow cancelled out. I need to have a AC current cancellation here. Only then nothing will go down. I should have minus I here. Something coming this way. I must have a minus I. So I can have the same structure creating I with a minus V in, so that it creates minus I. So I have a same structure with a minus V in to create minus I. So this now creates minus I. They both meet at this node, causing current cancellation. As a result, this is a common source amplifier, no AC downwards, but this node is floating, so constancy of Q point is obtained. At the same time, capital GM now remains same as small g. I am able to get a very good CSA, a modified CSA. Then you may say, this node, this is only dummy. It's a dummy arm. Yes, if you are using only this one, it is a dummy arm. Its only purpose is to create -I, but then when you start using it, it becomes a differential pair. And then you get many more benefits other than CSA. It becomes I would say, a better CSA. So differential pair can be treated like a modified CSA. Hence, a single stage amplifier. So when I start using it, nobody says that you use this arm. Don't tap this output. Then it is a normal CSA with a normal gain-like structure. You can analyze it. But then when I say, why to waste? Let me see what use I can have of this arm. I have a resource available, why not use it? So anyway, we are developing -Vin over here. Let me start tapping this output also. So if this is V out, naturally this has to be -V out. Or if this is -V out, this has to be +V out. It has to. Complementary output. It will generate a complementary output. So one immediate benefit, so you are getting constancy of Q point. One benefit, you are getting capital GM, full GM equal, so larger gain. Okay, there is no gain degradation, there is no transconductance degradation rather. At the same time, now look very carefully, this is producing an output, say Vin plus, Vin going high, so gain is say 10 times, so I will have, so suppose this is my input, Vin plus is this. So I will have Vin minus like this, V out. This is time domain waveform. V, suppose the V out, let me say VO1 and this is VO2, okay? So this is plus and this is minus. So VO1 will be this. What will be VO2? It will be just the reverse. Don't go by the quality of my figures. Understand the concept. One will go up, other will go down. Both will have to have a same DC. DC will be same. They both will be riding because both are identical arms. Both are matched arms, identical arms. So both will have same DC. So when I tap the output one with respect to each other, now my output is actually differential output, V output differential, VO differential. It would be say VO1 minus VO2 or VO2 minus VO1, whatever way you like to tap it. In this situation, VO1 will be, what is VO1? It would be DC minus delta. Just look at this point. I'm just looking at this peak. Suppose this is delta. Suppose this is delta. So what is your VO1? VDC minus delta. Minus, what is VO2 at this point? VDC plus delta. VDC cancels. What do you get? Minus 2 delta. What does it show? Phase reversal. Negative means phase reversal. What does it show? What is the swing range now? Twice. Swing range is twice. Okay. So the swing, V swing now doubles itself. V swing automatically gets doubled. Why? Because you are not measuring with respect to ground. This is the ground. Rather, you are measuring with respect to the lower point. So you are measuring the upper point with respect to the lower. So swing is doubling. By default, swing is getting doubled. Then you are not measuring with respect to the ground point now. So swing automatically gets doubled. In a differential pair, the moment you make use of the second arm, differential arm, swing gets doubled automatically, constancy of Q point, okay, and then you have a high gain. There is no reduced gain even if there is a source degeneration happening. There is no reduced gain. Differential amplifier is very useful. At the same time, noise cancellation, another benefit. Because output will have a noisy output attached to it. Because if input has a noise component, it will be having a noise component. Look here. I will have the input noise component gets cancelled. This is V in plus V noise. And this would be V in minus V in plus V noise. This is ISS grounded. You may argue why plus V in both sides, because noise is a random signal. Noise has no polarity. Noise is a random signal. It is taken an average value. Remember, root mean square. You always compute its RMS value. It has no polarity as such, because it is a random signal. So noise component is there. So this will produce minus A times V in minus A times Vn. Noise component will also get doubled. Gain times, amplified. Here it would be A times minus Vn plus A times Vn. So if you tap VO1 minus VO2, this gets cancelled out. So input noise does not propagate to the output because of differential output. It gets cancelled. So what you actually get, VO differential, which is VO1 minus VO2, would actually be minus 2A V in. You can easily say gain is doubling. No, gain does not double. There's a reason for that. Why? Because this is ISS, but this is ISS by 2. I can make a single amplifier, okay, with ISS. Bias current as ISS. Compare differential with this. Here GM will correspond to ISS current. So it would be 2 ISS by V over drive for this amplifier. Whereas here, this will have a GM and this will also have a GM. Here GM will correspond to ISS by 2. So it would be 2 into ISS by 2 by V over drive. And this will also have the 2 into ISS by 2 by 2 V over drive. So each one has a GM which corresponds to ISS by V over drive. This one also and this one also. Both will have a GM, half of the GM of standalone common source amplifier. So when you actually having a doubling of V out, you are becoming your gain is becoming equal to the gain of CSA. You will compensate. This too will compensate the loss here. So gain is still the same. Do not say gain will also double. Never say that. Clear? So it is taken as a modified CSA with double the swing, constancy of Q point, but with the same gain, but and with noise cancellation, input noise cancellation ability. Or you treat it like two CSA coupled at source, a particular combination. And now you should know its various characteristics, R in, R out, its IV characteristics. Now you should know how to plot IV characteristics of a differential pair. Everything is differential now. It is V in differential and V out differential. You should be able to plot. You should be able to plot. So V in is V in plus, say V in plus or V in minus. So your differential signal, suppose I say, is actually V in differential is V in plus minus V in minus. So suppose I make this more positive. So I am moving towards this axis. I am making this quantity negative. I am moving towards this. As a result, the current through this will change. Each arm will change. Suppose this is ID1 and this is ID2. So if this is more positive, V in plus is more, this arm current will go on increasing. So I can have an increment in current. ID1. So this would be finally going to 0 on this side. What about when this is made more negative? This ID2 will go on increasing. This ID2 will go on increasing. So on this side, ID2 will go on increasing. But on this side, this will go on reducing. This is the point where each current, both currents will be equal. That is when V in plus is same as V in minus. That is both of them, they have same VGS. So there is no, so this VGS is also same and this VGS is also same. Exactly same. Then the two arms will have exactly the same current. They will meet at this point. And if I create a difference, one arm current will increase, other arm current will decrease. So ID1 will increase, ID2 will decrease. Here, ID2 will increase, ID1 will decrease. You should understand the differential characteristic. Understanding characteristic is very, very important. Yes, the bell is over. Okay. So differential amplifier, some more I will discuss. And then we will move on immediately to frequency response, and after that advanced current mirrors. Because we know we should understand how to generate ISS. So I will take probably one more pair and then probably 1 or 2 lecture on frequency response. I hope you all understand poles, zeros, Bode plots, gain margin, phase margin, linear settling time. Okay, if you do not know, you should go and revise. Revise those concepts because really need them when I come to that topic. I will not be discussing everything in great detail, but yes, I would try to give you as much simplification of concepts as possible. But it is very important because op-amp frequency response totally depends on this knowledge. Okay? I will take one more lecture on differential pair next time. Whose pen is this? Thank you. Nalanda is active now. Goa campus students, I will get their names attached to the portal. But Pilani campus students can access it. Okay.